Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sofia Santos and today we are going to talk about something that I've been experiencing a lot during the past 6, 7, 8 months of this very overdue lockdown. And that is nothing else but stress. I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on stress management and stress itself according to what I learned as a behavioral science student and also as a student in general and from my experiences. So with all that said, get ready with me. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm the right person to talk about this because I'm a very stressed person and I tend to be very vocal about it. Sometimes, usually, I guess, it's perceived as bad, but if I think about it, it's actually the one that motivates me to do better, perform well, and to work faster. With that, stress doesn't have to be bad all the time because sometimes it can be good as well. Actually, from what was taught to me, there are two main types of stress. That's eustress and de-stress. Eustress talks about the positive side of everything. That means it's the one that motivates you to do something and do that thing well. It's actually essential to a point because it gives you that sense of adrenaline that you need to survive. Let's say you're about to get hit by a car or you're about to get punched. If you don't have that sense of stress or adrenaline in your body, you won't be able to move quick enough to avoid that punch and to avoid getting hit by the car. Imagine if chill ka lang, you won't have enough energy to move that quickly. Number 2 is de-stress. Now, this one talks about the negative side of things, and it's the one that's most familiar to us. It's the stress that gives you headaches, gain and loss of appetite, and sometimes even depression. Now, if you compare it to eustress, de-stress makes you counterproductive, and it makes you feel like you don't want to work and do anything. Now, these two types of stress are very different from each other, but they're both brought by stressors. These stressors can be interpreted very differently by very different type of people. An example of a stressful situation might be an early deadline. For some people, they can see this as an opportunity to work more efficiently and to avoid procrastinating. But for other people, they can interpret it as not having time at all to do what they want to do, and this might push them to not do anything at all. So in this situation, the only difference that you can make has something to do with your mindset. How you take a stressor, how you accept it, and how you deal with it has everything to do with it being a positive effect on your body or a negative effect. And that's where stress management comes in. As a student, I've learned how to cope up with stress in so many ways, and some of them might be more healthy than others, and here are just some of my favorites. Number 1 is to cut the cycle. Now, this one I do so much as a student because, as you probably know from my previous videos, I'm a very heavy planner. I like writing down everything that I have to do before I do them, and that kind of puts me in a very difficult cycle because every time I plan, I write down everything that I have to do and their deadlines, and after that, I get overwhelmed, and after getting overwhelmed, I get stressed, and after getting stressed, I just don't do anything. When you get hooked on that cycle, it's very difficult to clash away from it. So what I do is before I even get started on the cycle, I cut it already. And I do this by doing something that's also productive. So after I plan, before I reach that point of getting overwhelmed, I cut the cycle and do something else. And that allows me to just let everything simmer down first. It gives me the time to regain my energy and to regain a healthier mindset. And in order to not feel bad about cutting that cycle and wasting my time, I make sure that what I do is also something productive. That can be taking a bath, eating lunch, or it can be working out for you guys. Doing that, I come back to doing my requirements feeling so much better, and I avoided a breakdown, which is always good, right? Moving on, number 2 is something that I like to remind myself every time I feel stressed, and it is to be present. Usually, our stress comes from something that we can't control, which is the future. May this be about getting a good grade, getting that job, or being a disappointment. It has everything to do with the future, and sadly, no matter how much we try, we really can't control what's gonna happen. So always remind yourself that your power is in the now. Even if the future is out of your control, you can certainly do something right now to allow yourself to move closer to that goal. If you're gonna have good grades, those are not gonna come to you if you just sit down worrying about them. You have to do something and actually study. And it can be as small as, reviewing for your next quiz, or if your quiz is already done, reviewing on how you can improve yourself on the next quiz. And knowing that you can always do something, no matter how small it is, towards your goal is kind of empowering. It makes you not want to give up no matter how much you fail, because you can always do something to improve. Number 3 is take things one at a time. Now, I say this one a lot on my past videos, and I don't know what to tell you, but it works. No matter how much you practice, multitasking is very, very hard, and sometimes it can make you move even slower. And you know what? From my past experiences, sometimes the motivation of finishing your first task is the motivation that you need to finish your second task. So that's really why I take things one at a time, because I have to know that I'm finishing something before I start something else. That way I'm more motivated and I feel like I achieved something, making me less stressed and more productive. Number 4 is knowing your stress signals and having a go-to tactic to calm down. This has everything to do with self-awareness. If you know your stress signals and if you foresee your stressful situations, it's that much more easier to try and control and to manage it. Also, most of the time when you're stressed, you don't really have the will or the energy to think about not being stressed. So just to make your life easier, just so you don't have to spend time thinking on how to not be stressed, have a go-to tactic to calm down. This can be talking to a friend, drinking water, counting from 1 to 3, all of that simple stuff. If it becomes a habit for you, whenever you're stressed, it's so much easier to control your emotions and not let stressful situations bother you. Moving on to number 5, this one is another one of my favorites, and it is being assertive. By being assertive, I mean by being straight to the point and being assertive about what you feel, what you want, what you need, and what you believe in. Being assertive means that you clearly are able to say what you want to say and you're able to fight for it. Now, there's a big difference on being assertive and being aggressive. Make sure you're not aggressive. If you're being assertive in the most respectful way, this allows you to have a better and clearer communication with other people. And a better communication will give way to less misunderstandings, and less misunderstandings means less stress for everyone. Saying what you want to say and actually fighting for it just lifts off a very heavy weight on your shoulder, and it also helps you avoid getting into stressful situations in the first place. Lastly, number 5 is to know your personal boundaries. Knowing your boundaries and your limits help you identify when to stop and how to avoid situations that will stress you out in the future. This can also help you be more confident in saying no to things you can't handle. Knowing your boundaries and your limits and respecting them allows people and inspires people to do the same as well, making a community that is just safer, more effective, and stress-free place. And that's it. So I'm just putting on some lipstick. This is the Sunny's Face Girl Crush. Di ko kayo. Basta ayan, maniwala na lang kayo. And that's it for today's video. Stress management can be very different for everyone, so what works for me might not work for you. It's all just up to your personal wants and needs. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it and maybe you learned a little something, and if you did, make sure to click thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate that so much, and yeah, I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
1, 2, 3, funk it.